we're up to step number 27.
27, right.
And this one is networks and groups. Is it worth going to the networks? We have to discuss. Have you been to any?
Yes,
And
been
what
to
did you
several.
think?
For me personally, I didn't think there was much there that was relevant.
I think you've got to be careful with the networks. If you find one that is actually relevant to you, and there's a lot of people in there that you could potentially do business with, it's worth a shot. It's worth going.
Yeah.
I think it's worth trying once, and then if it's not for you, then don't waste your time.
Yeah, but you never know who you're going to meet.
Well, that's the problem, you see. So you could just go to one network and it'll be fantastic, and then you could,
I think just once is a bit. Yeah, I'd give it a few times.
yeah, give it a couple of tries.
Yeah,
and then,
because there might be different people on the next event or
Yeah.
a different subject or.
I think. I mean, I've never been to the paid for ones. I think it's called BNI. I think.
Oh right, yeah.
And I would imagine that gets it's a bit pressurised. And I've met one or two BNI people at the networks, and they are a bit, oh, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. But that might be a good thing. I mean, I don't know. And I would think if you've actually got to pay to go to a network, then you're probably talking about more serious people, more business-minded people.
Yeah.
Whereas the free ones can be a little bit, I'm just having a day out, I'm just here for a chat, I'm just here for the bacon butties, I'm just here for the sausage butties.
You have to see if it's relevant for your business and what you're going to gain from it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of communication on the certain types of business is worth it, but it's not always the right thing for us. And then, of course, you can go to the chamber networks if you want. We won't continue on that one.
Yeah, you have to pay for those as well, do you?
You have to pay
Yeah.
for them. I think they've started charging £20, I think, to go. So you've got to get your 20 quid back in some way. The other thing is groups, which we've experienced on Facebook. Well, you've got more experience on that, haven't you? Creating a group.
Yes, it can work well, but it can also backfire as you have to weigh up the pros and cons. How much time is it taking you, and energy is it taking you to do that?
Yeah, I think it's with the groups, like the Facebook groups, and I think there's WhatsApp groups as well now, isn't there?
There is, but I'm not in WhatsApp.
No,
I'm only in personal groups, chitty-chatting between friends. But with the groups, it's about connecting with other people with the same skills. And
how many did you have in your group in the end?
the first one I started, it was 500-600, and the sole purpose of it was for me to sell some of my products and maybe one or two sell their products on there. But then it just became about me managing the other people falling out.
You'll start arguing, yeah.
And then somebody's not paid by PayPal and they've not done this and they've put stuff to one side, and I'm like, and I ended up, other people's stuff was more popular and I didn't have time to put my stuff on.
Yeah.
So I closed that group.
I think you've got to be careful with them. I mean, the way I tend to see groups is, I have a personal group, which is a dance group, which is a hobby, really. But from a sales point of view, I think it's better to join the existing groups on the likes of Facebook and whatever, and then just place your product into that group.
Yeah. Now I've done that as well.
Yeah.
I've put some of my products into a huge selling group, and it just gets overlooked.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big group.
Yeah.
It doesn't even get looked at,
Yeah,
so
anywhere near.
that didn't work either.
So
personally.
I think with groups, I think it's best to try and research it, find where you sit within the group, and find the group that actually works for you.
Yeah, I mean, they're good for sources of information.
Yeah.
If you need to know something
Yeah.
and you want something specific, and you go into that group,
But the silver
like Les has got a
silver spoon.
it's called the Silver Spoon Identification Forum. It's a forum.
It's a forum, yeah.
And he's got 2,500 members
So that's a good way of doing a group, isn't it?
from all over the world.
Yeah.
And me and him are admins. We don't do anything on it now because everybody else is running it.
Yeah.
So we get people from all over the world. So you're gaining all that knowledge. People will come on and say, don't know what this is, what it is. So you've got thousands of people saying, I know what it is.
Yeah.
And when you're dealing in antique, vintage, it's good to have that wealth of knowledge. But our role now is just administrating it in the sense of getting rid of any spam, that's not relevant. So it only takes a few minutes a day.
So groups, try them out and find the best one for you.